we have a live stream lately about planting beans right there in the two large spots, and then part of that live streaming after we planted 8 spots of beans into the two large spots, we water this down here, our second and third platform of onion chives, and also some tiny pots in here. We water this down. That was part of the live streaming. But then when I came back here to look on the phone, it suddenly something went wrong. Tap to try, so I have to end my live streaming. I don't know if it is still available that I can download or upload that one later on. I don't know, but I have to do the live streaming again, and our live streaming is just a continuation of that separate live streaming that was just halted, that was stopped suddenly, or I don't know what's the reason. And many times it happened every time I do live streaming. And you know what? This is the sad thing. When I do live streaming, when there's no music because people are not awake yet, or maybe they're somewhere else, and my live streaming suddenly stop, and I don't know. Usually it happens something went wrong. Tap to try. That means that's the end of my live streaming. I have to cut, and then I have to stop, and then do live streaming again. But every time I do live streaming and there's music from my neighbors, even if it's 2 hours or more than 2 hours, there's no problem with my live stream. I hate with my, I don't know what happened to my phone, what happened to, yeah, it gives me headache. Why? Yeah, see this one? Yeah, this is a vine. Yeah, lots of them growing now, and even the seeds are like planted, or maybe out of mixing stuff, the seeds went down like at the bottom of the pot, but still the seed will continue to grow, finding for the top of the ground. It's crazy. I can see a few plants here that are pigweed plants, so it's good for my chickens, and I will let them like grow a certain height. Yeah, this one is already big, and I will remove that pigweed plants out from here to the spots, and will be replanted that one outside, so that my wife and I don't have to struggle anymore to look for pigweed plants outside. We're like thieves. But of course, they usually grow in the most fertile soil, and where the garbage are being thrown beside the road. So that's a favorite spot for the pigweed plants to grow. But now, if we could have certain amount of plants, pigweed plants, that we don't have to struggle to look for any kind of that plant outside if we have our own. That's why I keep planting, and of course, we can cook the one. It's superfood. both for animals and humans. The thing is, we have lots of vegetables here, so we cannot really. But if we eat pizza outside, we usually or always chose the pizza with the toppings of um, pigweed plants on top. Okay, now let's move on to the first platform. And that platform where I was reading yesterday morning about that invasive plants that I don't want to see in any of our. Okay, I think it is clear now. Mm-hmm. Okay, hang on for a while, friends. So aside from ladyfinger or okra, aside from eggplants, there we have two varieties here. Aside from sweet potato tops, aside from onion chives, aside from beans and calamansi and other vegetables here, we will be planting carrots and radishes as well. So here, imagine that I already cleaned this up yesterday, but still I could see a few of this invasive plant that I don't want to see in my fucking garden. Okay, jute plants, we have to remove the one too. We have two varieties of amaranth here, or uh, we have two different varieties of what was that? Two different varieties of pigweed plants. The variety that has tiny leaves, which I don't really like it that variety. So it's also growing here. But I think we can still use it. We will remove it first and feed to the chickens once the size is already good to be picked. And the other variety that can grow big, then we have to remove that one as early as possible and we will replant it outside. I started already last evening, and those pigweed plants were removed from this spot, this area here. So this afternoon we will remove again some of these pigweed plants and we'll continue to plant outside. So it's nice if you plant that one for like early evening so that the pigweed plants or any plants have time to adjust the new environment for the whole evening. And then there's this early hours in the morning. Still, it is not hot yet because there's no sun yet. So that means you give them space and time to adjust to a new environment where the roots can start expanding that whole evening where you schedule to transfer those. I think we have several casualties to our plants. There are, I think, how many onion chives plants that I need to replace? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So right now we have around seven onion chives plants that needs to be replaced. So that means those onion chives did not survive the hot temperature from the chicken's manure, and we have this hot temperature from the sun. So all together, that where our plants onion chives succumb to. So, YouTube friends, got a lot of work to do. And, well, have to water this. I'll make sure that I'll be able to wake up tomorrow before 4. Actually, when my alarm clock started to like remind me that it's time to wake up, then I suddenly get up from the bed, but I think my brain was still sleeping, so I cannot really think of what to do. So I go back to bed after going to the toilet to pee and a bit of chatting with my wife because needs to she needs to wake up early as well to cook our food, but both of us went back to sleep. I have to force myself to get up. So that was around 30 past 4 in the morning. So when I arrived outside to plant our beans, long yard beans, then that was around 5:30 in the morning, 30 past 5. So that's why now we're around 6 in the morning. And yeah, I still have to water this area here. So we just finished that. This is our first platform with these styrofoam boxes. Now let's go into this tiny pots. After 6, so 6:05 in the morning, friends. 6:05 in the morning. I must finish my work here before 30 past 6. So I yet still have to eat my breakfast, bath. Of course, I have to go to the chicken coop to feed our chickens with some healthy feed with plants. Before going there, we'll finish this work here. I have to bring at least half kilo of feeds, and so we need to have regular weeding right into these tiny pots here. Get your friends with onion chives planted in it. You see this? Actually, if you let this plant grow, this can grow up to 1 meter high or even above that. Imagine how many seeds growing in each pot. So this will be forest again here if I will not maintain the weeding, I will not maintain the care that these plants necessarily be done to them regularly. So there should be regular cleaning here. Why we have these heaps of seeds here growing. Now let's bring this camera here. We have to water our durian as well. Okay, you two friends. Now let's go. I have a few minutes that I can spare for this work here. Then I have to do it. Onion chives are rotting. Why? Well, if we cannot, yeah, but we can. I'm pretty sure pretty sure we can grow these onion chives and turn them into healthy plants. Now we'll remove this. Okay. Now we will proceed here, watering our durian tree. There, our durian tree, our first plant. Yeah, this is our first plant. Oh, what's wrong? Why the leaves are dry? It's too hot, maybe. What happened? I don't guess so. What? So, what happened? Okay, let's go back there, YouTube friends. Time check. Wow, 16 past 6. So part of that, Mami, Mami, pakiano yung ano, be, yung susi sa gate at saka yung teacher. Ha? Susi sa gate at saka yung teacher. And may tupi nito kay tanim ko to sa labas yung ibang natira. So here, YouTube friends, in case you miss our live streaming yesterday, of course, some of those work that we did yesterday was not uh, covered by our live streaming. Wow, look at the tilapia fish right there. See that black one down there? Yeah, lots of them are big now. I think the level of water is so low that fuck, it's so low already. Oh man. So yesterday afternoon, YouTube friends, my wife and I came here and we remove the roots and the base of the vines that you can see in my previous vlogs that climb over the fence, and it took me one whole fucking morning to remove those. And these are the base or the roots that are not easy to remove. This is not easy to remove, YouTube friends. And we've got this uh, grass clippings and vines, and then we planted 3 pumpkin plants, and then this tiny here we planted pigweed plants. So I hope that one will grow. And here we have pigweed plants planted here, and also here I'm pretty sure these pigweed plants that I planted in this hole because before I planted bananas here, but 3 months after that banana tree did not survive, did not produce new sets of roots and then die. But I think I'm pretty sure pigweed will be having a comfortable zone right there. And we water this F1 hybrid eggplants that Mama planted 3 weeks ago. And then before we went to the park to do exercise, to do jogging, I cleaned this area with my wife, and it was already dark, like um, around 7 o'clock in the evening, because we arrived at the park like 30 past 7, and we left in there after the jogging like quarter to 9 in the evening, and that's why I was not able to wake up early. I'm so tired. That was my first attempt of doing this jogging exercise after 2 3 years. So we have this F1 hybrid eggplants that we cleaned yesterday night. So that's it. And there's still another two rows here that needs to be cleaned. So every afternoon we have to spend time here. And also here needs to be clean. And we have this another set of garden enclosure, YouTube friends. See that? And I have a time lapse to this, but I still have to put it together, and then we'll upload that one later in YouTube, in our YouTube channel. So we have this another set of garden enclosure right here outside. And the soil there is really, really healthy, fertile, good for any kind of vegetables. But I'm thinking of planting onion chives there. But look at the chickens here, how they do something in the soil on the ground. They're digging hole, they're dust bathing. They do dusting, they bath themselves with this dust, this soil. So they dig a hole and play in here for the whole fucking day. So with that, it leads to my thinking that we have to build another set of garden enclosure for our onion chives, because we still have a lot of onion chive bulbs that needs to be planted. I think I can show you our onion chives bulbs back in the house. Now let's go. So these are our current progress here outside. We're building a trellis here, a garden enclosure, to make sure that our onion chives will not be damaged, will not be touched, will not be disturbed by chickens or dogs. And I'll be putting screen around that walls there with barbed wire that have been placed by the owner of this land that we're renting. But I need to add screens so that chickens and dogs will not be able to get inside this garden, because they come here, especially the dog, they poo, they pee into the plants, and it's not good. So, and the chickens are playing, dusting, bathing themselves with the soil, and it also damage our, look at our, some of our um, F1 hybrid eggplants, and some of them started to bear fruit. So I don't want them to be disturbed. So when the salary appear in my account this month as a teacher, so I need to buy those important stuffs that I mentioned lately. So let's go back to the house, because what time is it now? It's 24 past 6. So I only have 6 minutes doing something in the garden. I need to fix myself, bath, eating for my breakfast, and then I'm ready to go for the work. So YouTube friends, these are the current progress, and I'm still planning to plant or add more, around 15 to 20 plants, banana plants. Look at the fish, a group of fish. That black in there that you see, that spots right there, that corner, uh, that far corner. You see that black there moving? Those are tilapia fish. Oh, there's still lots of them surviving. I think the owner of this land, they raise tilapia fish, but I think they were not able to harvest because there were around 4,000 fingerlings that they release here, but they accuse of the snakes eating the fingerlings. But I think that was a certain kind of bird that looks like kingfisher bird that hop in that electricity lines. And I was still in the process of thinking whether I live or die. That year, 2 years ago, or more than a year ago, because I suffered from extreme depression, because my dog, my family dog that acted as my service support, died, and my other pets. And from the struggles and depression I already accumulated back in the country, Philippines, before arriving here in Thailand. So until now, it is still striking in my brain, and every time I'm disturbed with that, yeah, I am highly impacted. But my work as a teacher, though, a lot of pressure, stress, because a lot of preparation to do. But still, that career, that work as a teacher right now, helps me to stay grounded. Trying to look into the positive side, regardless of the struggles, the hardships that we are really facing for many years now. And there are many other aspects that I cannot tell you here. It is so really, really private. It's family matters. But you know what? One thing that I can tell you, yeah, I'm still here, man. Okay, 4 minutes. Now, see that far in, I need to water that again. I didn't water that down this morning, but I have to water that now. But before going there, as I mentioned to you, that we have this heaps of onion chives bulbs that needs to be planted. Yeah, see that? Bunch of onion chives here, bulbs. And I think that garden enclosure that I showed you lately is not even able to accommodate that number of onion chives bulbs that we have. But anyway, some of the onion chives that are planted here inside the house need some replacement, and so I need to like um, multiply by 2 3 times more in each spot so that the, the available space can cope up with that amount of onion chives bulbs that we have. And certainly in the next season, because 2 3 months after now it's May, June, July, so around mid of August this year, then the number of our onion chives here will be 10 20 fold, and that's another set of struggle where I don't know where to plant all those onion chives. Probably the other space in there, because the owner told me to take control of the whole garden outside, because 2 years ago I was only told to like maintain the half of that property, this side with these banana trees. But right now they asked me to take control of the whole garden outside. Of course, with that he will not be spending money to maintain cleaning these jackfruit trees, because he told me to take control of all the garden outside. So that means I have to take full responsibility of the whole garden. But I'm not a tenant or someone being paid to look after that piece of land outside with your friends. Actually, my wife and I, we are renting that one for 500 baht each month. I think that is too expensive, because we have a new teacher in the school in which he loves farming, and he got married to a Thai woman. And he told me that somehow some of the landowners here in Thailand would just allow renter to rent their land and use land for just 3,000 baht a year per ride. I don't know if it's one ride outside. If it's one ride, then it is still expensive. It's like we're renting around 6,000 baht per year and divided into 12 months, so it falls to 500 baht per month. And I think it's not, it's not friendly. It's not nice. So We're paying that one very expensive, 500 baht per month. So that's our rent outside. And that's why normally I have the control of the whole area because I'm renting that place, right? Two friends. I'm renting that place. So normally I have the control of that place. But only this time that I was given the control of the whole property outside. Because there was this old man, our neighbor as well, in that other end of the road, was in charge of the other half of the property. Now he got to work from Tisabon, from the local district at the finance department. So now he cannot maintain, he cannot manage his time between his work in Tisabon and taking care of the other side of the garden. Now the owner asked me to work on the whole garden. So with that, I have to start cleaning that area in the next coming Sundays, and I'll be planting tons of vegetables there, different kinds of vegetables. I'll be planting all across that whole property. Of course, I still have to weed that out first, and then I think the soil is nice, so we can go directly planting watermelon, pumpkin, ladyfingers. Maybe we'll be planting carrots there if I can see the soil is quite smooth, and many other vegetables that we can plant. Eggplants of different varieties. I'm thinking of planting around four, three, four different varieties out there. And also, I have some reserve pots in here that I need to put some brand new cow's manure and chicken's manure for tomatoes in the next season. And some of my mother's friends will be coming over here this December, and some of them will be spending New Year celebration with us probably. So it's a group, it's a missionary type of a group in which they help community services, and then they do community services. So with that, they will be coming here, and I need to plant more vegetables. It's a slug, my two friends, and slugs is very detrimental to my plants in here. Okay, what time is it now? 33 past 6. So with this, two friends, until here with our live streaming this morning. I'm sorry it was beyond my control, where there was just a sudden error or problem with my live streaming lately, and it's like around 21 minutes long. And I don't know if it is still visible on YouTube or otherwise. My live streaming about planting long yard bean will be completely gone. And then, okay, besides that, um, thank you for watching and see you in the next live streaming. I still have to prepare myself for work, and I'll be back here in the garden this afternoon. So my next schedule for jogging, do exercise will be tomorrow afternoon or early evening because my wife will have a meeting in the school. So probably I can take my jogging exercise first and then pick up my wife, or I don't know, or spend a few minutes here and then go back to 20 kilometers travel with motorbike to pick up my wife and back to the house, and then prepare myself for jogging, and then after that come back here, whatever I can do in the garden in the evening tomorrow. But this evening, this afternoon, I can still have a lot of things to do. Probably I continue digging holes for our durian trees to be planted because we still have around 7 plants of durian trees that need to be planted. So I already say goodbye, but we'll keep talking. So thank you, and see you in the next live streaming. Bye bye. Thank you for tuning in.